in general, how do you tackle critiques? Because what some people say, what some people have said in the past is they kind of just take the good stuff and just kind of, you know, filter throughout the bad stuff. But for you, it sounds like you let your friends or you let your trusted,
Oh, yeah. So
esteemed people filter it for you.
so there are two things. Red Eye has a really good blog on this, but
Mm-hmm.
basically I actually actively seek out critique. I encourage people after every course to send me what they felt did and didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really helpful. The only caveat, of course, is what maybe people don't realize is just because you said you liked or disliked something doesn't mean I'm going to change it. You know, emphasize it, de-emphasize it. It's
Mm-hmm.
still up to me to decide what I like, obviously, as the caster. And the other big important thing to me as well is I really try to ignore things that are not constructive critiques. There are people who are just going to type to you, "This sucked balls." That doesn't
Mm-hmm.
help anyone, right?
Yeah.
That's not productive in the slightest. So I generally ignore those types of comments, and it's the same as ignoring comments which are like, "Oh, this was awesome." That's great. It's good positive reinforcement, but it doesn't quite tell you what was good about it.
Right.
So I kind of just filter through those ones and then really go for stuff that goes into kind of the meat of it. And then Red Eye had another good comment he talked about where he says that he only trusts other professionals that he respects.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
not quite that far, but I definitely, you know, when I've gotten advice from LD or someone, I
Mm-hmm.
will take that, you know, it's more heavily weighted than a random comment on Reddit.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, I agree. And actually, Yaman brought this up too. So I keep mentioning Yaman because like we specifically talked about you critiques, and he actually mentioned the same exact point you mentioned was that you get the good stuff. Sometimes you get the really frilly like, "Hey, good job." It's like, okay, good job on what? Like, what did I do well? Did you like this? Did you like that? And other times you get the other ones that say, "Cool Blue, you're horrible." Like uninstall. It's like, okay, that doesn't help me. So one of the things that he brought up was that the perspective that at the top they had the same problem as some people at the bottom who don't really have anybody watching the videos. Where at the top, you know, you have so many people watching videos that you get so much stuff that you just don't really know who to trust. So you have to go to your other people who are beside you. And it's perfect that you mentioned that, you know, if you ever get a critique from somebody like LD or guys, you're like, hey, that's a good idea. Let me try to investigate that one and let me try to improve on that. Whereas if somebody like, you know, Mad Kings, which who's another caster, someone like Mad Kings that says, "Hey, Llama, maybe if you change your picture, it'll be better." You would just
I
say, "No."
actually really listen to other casters over other people because I
Mm-hmm.
think other casters think about similar things. But
Ah. Mm-hmm.
I meant more of like I don't,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if you're some random person out of the blue who sends me something and you've got kind of no credentials to your name, I'm
Right.
gonna
Right.
take it with a grain of salt.
Ah, got it. Got it. So that's the more perspective that you're having. Okay. Okay. All right. So I totally read that wrong. My bad.
Yeah. No, I mean, I really like listening to other casters' opinions, and
Mm-hmm.
of course, you do have to take it with a grain of salt because there's also interesting caster politics that sometimes come up.
Oh
But
God. Yeah.
I generally, you know, as I said, you gather people that you trust, and you try to make it work.
Mm-hmm.